I'm like, well, how many startups you trying to invest in?
Hey, don't lie. We could talk. We could talk off mic on that one.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I got a few dollars to throw that way. Easy.
Jesus Christ. Praise him, it's Sunday. Oh, hallelujah.
Nah, for real, you make the most money off Pearl.
Bruh, we not doing this. Not today. We not starting the show like that. This is crazy.
I'm
Lex, you
how y'all doing? How you doing, Lex? How you a wholesome human being?
Trying to be too sensible. That's all you have to do.
Hey, the sensible N-words episode did do numbers, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Just saying.
Lex Bub, it's good to have you back, bro.
It's good to be back. I missed y'all.
We missed you.
Oh,
You
guys,
guys
our
was-
shit loop now.
Yeah, man. Come on, baby. I told you. Hey, look here, man. We gonna get efficient around.
Hey.
Come hella high water, man.
Hey.
We gonna get some structure around here.
Hey, work smarter, not harder,
Come on,
man.
Hey, top flight security of the world, Craig.
You know what I'm saying?
Not the city, the world. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good. Hey, if they got Fast and Furious, no.
If they got Fast and Furious 19, nigga, we can for sure figure out this podcast shit for sure.
You feel me?
Hey, you seen the meme of Vin Diesel and Sarah J, the porn star? It's like, come on, blood. This who this nigga is for real? So now my little childhood is ruined.
Bro, that's a cold side by side. Man.
That is fucked up.
Damn.
Oh, man. It's the Meet the Brave podcast. I am Monty Draper.
I am LG.
Lex B-U-B.
I'm B.
Hey, gang in here. Finally back in studio. We got our mans back, man. They was holding you. Hey, Ye looked like he was being held hostage, but there was a few pictures when you, Lodge, and Bird was like this. It was like they got the machete to my man head. What's going on, man? But it's only fitting. We come back with family. We got young Bird in the building today, brother. What's going down, man?
Not much, man. Happy to pull up.
Man, so it's a few moments in the pod that make me really proud, but it's like when your niggas reach out and be like, hey man, y'all talking for me. When Bird and B Walk reached out about listening to the pod, these are the last two niggas I expected to be listening to the podcast in the beginning. It was like, but then I thought about it, I was like, no, of course they're listening. And then B was the first one to give proper context on what it meant to have L on a mic every week speaking, like working through his thoughts. I was like, damn, when you put it that way, it is valuable. But then Bird being like, nah, bro, this the joint, and then sending ideas and like, yo, you probably should look in it. I'm like, bro, this is how you build a community. So thank you for pulling up, bro, but thank you for fucking with the show too. For real.
For sure, man. For sure.
We I met a cat. Shout out to the Stay Diff homies too, TK and Greg. I met them like 2 days ago. We got to go sit in their studio. They got a beautiful, beautiful spot. But Greg was like, nah, bro. I'm, introducing yourself to people. You're like, what's popping? What's going on, Monty? You're like, man, I listen to the show every Monday, man. It's my spiritual reset. I'm like, we out here giving niggas spiritual resets. As terrifying and amazing all at once.
I'm like, oh damn.
Also, don't just skim past how much of a bar that one is.
A spiritual reset, nigga?
Boy, I'm about to use that one. Hey, that one is definitely going into my next like little situation.
See,
little association.
Niggas always take the good and use it for evil.
Nah, bro.
Hey, baby, you my spiritual reset.
feel
Like,
me?
don't say that to nobody, G.
What?
Don't be outside talking like that.
What? You know how far that'll go?
Yes.
Hey, wellness is the new prostitution shit. So if we about to be honest out here,
Say that, shawty.
Hey, plenty will.
cause so I mean, if a bitch trying to get spiritually aligned, let me.
Hey,
Never
ain't
mind.
nothing to it.
I don't
you
know
feel
what
me?
I'm on today. I don't even know.
Y'all so toxic.
The worst part is she gonna say something like, won't God do it to you?
I do it to you.
I'm sorry. I don't even know why I'm like this today.
It's all good. You wake up like this.
Can we do our gang check in, our family check in? How y'all feeling for real?
Good, man. I think. Well, my part, I'm great. It was a busy ass week, and I didn't realize. Well, when I hit y'all yesterday, I didn't know what day it was, what was going on, and that had nothing to do with like anything. Just putting that holiday in the middle of the week. Well, I guess it wasn't the middle, but
Damn
something
near.
like that. And having to be around family, and grandpa's 84th and stuff like that. It was a lot. So it was beautiful. Talking to the fam, and like in each one of their dealings or whatever, able to like offer some level of context is beautiful too. So like everybody, you realize that everybody's going through something. And if you can offer something, you know what I mean, and that goes a long way. You don't know how far that could go. So that was a beautiful piece for me. So I was just fully immersed in the idea behind, family. So I was really appreciative on that. And then Monty came and broke all that shit up with a video, letting us know that what we doing on Thanksgiving ain't true.
Oh, hey, my bad. I only sent it because I thought that shit was funny.
We was out there giving thanks.
I only sent it because it was funny. It was like, but I'm fully eating my dressing while this nigga making this anti-Thanksgiving video. I'm not trying to hear. Why they do that to us, bro? Why?
That was great, bro.
Out of all the people, they want
great.
us to be like, hey, fuck family getting together and like connecting and checking on each other and being grateful for one another. Like, have morals collectively as a country now. Why us and why now? That's not gonna happen on this one. Sorry.
Yeah,
like
remember the slaughter and the pillaging.
And that's not even a diss to our indigenous folks. That's just like, fam, take that shit up to Piedmont. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's what that feels like in my brain. I know that's nuts to say, but that's just how I think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna enjoy my potato salad. And my granny made.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with you, B. It was just like it's crazy that Black people have to continuously be the moral compass for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hold us to a higher standard than everyone else, and it's like, bro, there should be nothing that we could do that is above what's already been done to us. You know what I'm saying? So like, the shit that we do is just literally from generations of what took place. So if we got somebody that's out here taking heads off, best believe that's way up his ancestral chain that's fighting in alignment on that one. You know what I'm saying? You might want to change some shit before you get at the nigga that's doing that shit. So, but it is what it is.
And if we really, really want to talk about it, we want to get into our little hotep bag. I mean, there's some niggas that are indigenous, so. But let's go around that circle. Elle, I did want to ask, do you feel that now that you feel more connected to your ancestors, like you experience family differently?
Completely. I feel more in line with everyone that's like breathing. Now that I got like all of that stuff taken care of with folks that are not. So like when I was having these conversations with family, I just remember over the course of maybe the last few years, me still going to these like family gatherings or whatever, but I wasn't, my communication was pretty surface, and I wasn't all that like there, you know what I mean? Like I'd be out to the side, or drinking super heavy and like not really communicating that much with family members, and feeling like I'm not connected to them whatsoever. So I felt like I was an outsider in a way. To like this year, the communication with everyone was like, it was all touching them in a whole nother way, and I could see it and feel it. And even from their side, it was like, damn, like they didn't want to stop communicating, you know what I mean? So that's a completely different deal than in the past. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Nah, that's next level. That kind of how was it for you being away? Like, how did you like do the holiday flow?
So let's start with saying that Elle said the middle of the week was a holiday. And Monty said, well, damn near, because y'all thinking about Thanksgiving. But the real nigga holiday.
Oh, shit.
Real nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
Real out.
Keep it a stack. You
Was
damn,
the
you
middle
damn near
of the
ain't make
week.
it back from that birthday, Shawty. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's why she woke up like this.
I
She's
mean,
still in DJ mode.
I was getting a couple new real estate agents. Anyway,
Hey, you know what I'm saying? We gotta fill up our contacts.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to up my Rolodex. You know, spend that bitch. But it was.
This could be a great partnership. You know what I'm saying? I'm really looking at how much this can actually flourish.
What's Brad Ozark and old girl?
Yes,
That's damn near the team.
that's what I'm saying.
squad.
Gang gang.
You know what I'm saying? It was a very interesting experience. It was good. It was really, really good. I think the day before my birthday, I had like a weirdly like emotional day.
The day before.
Yeah, the day before. And then my birthday hit and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then it was Thanksgiving and I was like, all right. But because this is the first time I've ever spent both of those days away from everybody. Like, I wasn't with family. I didn't really kick it with nobody out here like that. And that was purposeful, but it wasn't emotional on like a sad level. It was almost like a release. And it was this moment where I had looked up and was like, oh shit, like you finally have like the peace you've been fighting for the last like 3 years. And I'm like, woo. And I mean, just like release the whole day. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. Oh, it felt so good. It felt so good. Just so much going on in life and like my family and all these different aspects. And then finally getting to a space where I just kind of like, I realized like you've been putting your head down and just getting through. And now I was like, damn, like I feel free right now. Like, and that was like a huge emotional release. And then my birthday happened, which was really great. And then my family calls me on Thanksgiving, and my parents have just been remodeling their backyard, and my parents' house has become the new home. So it was always my grandma's that we always went to for Thanksgiving. But as my grandparents and stuff are getting older, my parents' house is now becoming that space that everybody convenes at during the holidays. And they redid their backyard and they bought like a karaoke set and all this stuff. And so they sent me videos of it. And it was so beautiful because it was like I miss my family, but it wasn't a sadness. It was like, damn, like I'm just so appreciative that I love y'all and I fuck with y'all. Like I appreciate that y'all are having a good time. Y'all are happy. Y'all are joking. Y'all are laughing. My mom put on her freaking. My mom had one wig when she had cancer and she lost all her hair, and she put on her cancer wig and sang a Tina Turner song.
Oh, mom's was out there. Oh,
She was
that's
lit.
tight.
Going
So
up.
it was just this moment. It was so beautiful. I was like, damn, like life feels good. And so I just was like, whoo, like, so it was a release. It was beautiful. It was joyous. I don't give two fucks about any of these white people like that killing everybody on this day. And I say that in a way of like, as Elle was saying, like, it's not, but we already know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we been knew what's up. And this day is really just about us convening with our families. And like I said before, like, or my grandmother is half indigenous. So like, all of this for me is like, it's not on me to sit there and like, what is it? Not repent, but what is it? Reparate, I guess. Like, it's on me to take moments like this and have joy and have love and have fellowship with my family, because that's the shit y'all been trying to strip forever. So I'm gonna go do that, and y'all can deal with all this other shit, you know?
Man, and Bird, you at any given time, there's no telling where you could be at in the world. What does, like, coming out of COVID, the move, the this, and not even just the holiday, but this little run where you get to see family a little bit more. Did this one hit different than it had in the past?
Man, I mean, I can honestly say the way I was looking forward to this little stretch coming home from like Wednesday to today, I extended it to tomorrow. I've never really felt that type of like relief. Like, I was looking at it like a light at the end of the tunnel. like because like just the sprint right now for work. I mean, it's so purposeful, but I don't know if I've ever felt the type of exhaustion where like my chest feels hollow. You know what I mean? Like right now, I feel like there's like nothing inside my chest, but it's for such a reason that I believe in. It's like you're laying out for the catch, but it's almost like running a marathon, but at a sprinter speed. And so like this particular Thanksgiving was just a time for a very brief reset, get your head above water for a second, get a gasp of air, and you got to dive back in through end of year. So, I mean, I can't tell you how good it feels to see y'all, to see Tim, to see the new babies, you know, Elijah's daughter, Tim's son. It's been real.
Man, I'm such a sicko. I had the nerve to like passively you're gonna love this. I had the nerve to passively aggressively ask Lex to come work with me the day after Thanksgiving. like, hey man, I know you've been in Africa and you just left LA and you ain't seen your family, but you want to go back to LA and do another job? My man was like, respectfully, I'm gonna stay home. It's like, you got me fucked up. But him saying no made me go, nigga, I'm not going either. I'm fucking tired. Like, are you kidding me? I was dead ass serious too. Had he said yes, we'd be in LA working right now. But bro, for you, Bird being here was like complete. Like, I do feel like there's alignment, and now we really got to get into it because it's not just Africa. It's not that it was just film. It's your story specifically. So what type of reflecting have you been doing? Now, you know, you've been home a few days. You got to kind of, you know, reassess shit. Nigga, how have you gone back to work yet?
Yeah, I went back to work.
How hard was that? Like, I got so many questions. Like, same question everybody else got, but in everything else. How are you doing for real? Because it's heavy, bro. Like, I don't, last night, at Pop's birthday, Deontay was like, nigga, the live version of Franklin Saint. He just made a scene in front of everybody. And I don't know, like, that makes me feel good because that was something I fought for. It's like, nah, nigga, the recording is 20 minutes technically. So I had to fight for the 10 that we got. But I was about to put the whole 20 on that motherfucker. Like, and sleep good. Like, sleep perfectly. But the fact that people listen to that song, listen to the whole 10 minutes and go, yo, that shit I ain't never heard nothing like it. It hit different. So I'm looking at you, I'm like, this Babe Ruth pointing at the wall type shit and you know, you strutting around the bases, but you also like, I ain't done nothing yet. You know, you like how are you dealing, how you feel for real?
Like, I tell everybody that whole trip was like life changing for me. Like beyond life changing. Like it was life changing on the form of seeing so much great shit. Like seeing our people, like getting off the plane, going places and not feeling like a threat because everybody looked like you. Like even the billboards and all that. And then at the other side of it, there's a part that is heartbreaking when you like leave out of the main city and you see how some of the other parts of the country still are. And like when we went to, because we went to one place where they were trafficking slaves, and it's a city, and like we seen like people still outside and they don't have shoes on and they're walking through like sewage mud, and that makes you think about shit and push it in perspective. But the other dope part of that though was we also got to see niggas shooting dice, and anytime I could go anywhere in the world and just see a bunch of niggas shooting
niggas
dice,
still shoot dice no matter what.
You like, that's our shit.
Hey.
That's what Ryan Coogler said when they were scouting for Black Panther. He was like nigga, we went out there and they was barbecuing. The uncles was in the front. He said you walk in the house, the aunties and the mamas is in there kicking it, talking shit. You go in the backyard, the kids was playing. It's like, nigga, it's all the same. Like what? Like we do the same thing no matter where we are in the world. Oh, that's kind of fucking awesome.
That's why Michael B's character was so fucking important. Like why the connection was so dope. It's like, bro, you could be feeling that all the way over here.
Right.
So you go over there, you just want you know what I mean? Just want to make the connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play me as if I'm not a part of royalty as well, given what I have to deal with in a place that doesn't have any of that type of structure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and for you still to migrate and like, you know, still navigate through the soil over here, where like this shit ain't made for you, but motherfuckers is still out here winning. Don't play with us, bro. Like, don't act like folks ain't figuring that shit out, and folks ain't figured that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Lex, your time to reflect with the fam and holiday flow, like what's that been like too?
It's been really good. Like, especially Sid. Sid had hella questions for me. So she put the globe in front of me. So she was like, "So you was over here?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "No, like all the way over here, Daddy?" I was like, "Yeah, Daddy had to fly 20 hours." She was like, "So what was it like?" And so we just sat there and had a whole conversation just about Africa. And then I showed her the video of like the monkeys on the road. And she was like, "Wait a minute. These were just on the road? Like we could have hopped out?" And I was like, "No, we weren't going to hop out."
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
She was like, "But they're so cute." No, those is wild animals. Those ain't even zoo animals. They don't fuck with us. So, yeah, and then she was like, "So next time you go back, are you taking us? Are you taking me?" So then that was a whole nother conversation. So.
Right. Man, if we look at it through a pop culture lens or just a rap lens, they're some of the most successful niggas have a partner. And even if we don't understand the inner workings of their relationship, they have a partner on some level. They got an agreement that worked for them, you know, and it looked player and the business is taken care of, and that's not so represented amongst us. Like we at Thanksgiving this other day, they had a whole conversation about gender roles. That Unc is he not quite 60 yet, but knocking on the door at 60, came in there talking big shit. What's wrong with you women? Y'all know you. And I was like, oh, this nigga's a sicko. Let me pull up a chair. This is about to get it. And then teen sister and her friend, they knocking on the door at 30, but they got their situations, got they man, their house, all this shit, but they raised by single mother, so they on their independent time. So it was just like, it couldn't be any further the opposite ends of the spectrum. That just made a beautiful, combustible conversation. And because it's black people, it was kind of loud, but they not mad, they just talking loud. So this is fucking awesome.
That's how we communicate.
This is how we communicate. But it really put in a proper perspective, like, what isn't represented in just the balance of like, yeah, I could be all of those things. Like I need to be the assertive male, but I also need to be the supportive husband, boyfriend, and all that other shit too, and not just this one thing. And it's like, and the beautiful part about that conversation is that they were talking about two opposite ends of the spectrums, but they were just trying to fulfill one thing as opposed to just being fluid and agile. And it's like, damn, I want to. What does that feel like? So how does that? And granted, you've already said it. It's a small blip in what you are going to accomplish as a filmmaker. But my nigga, come on,
it was. I knew it was big because when I got back and I talked to my dad, the conversation's different now. It went from, oh, your little hobby, the little thing you still playing with your camera, to, so how was work? And that one
Come on.
word.
right. That one
Talk
word.
to me right.
That one word.
And I was like,
right?
and it's like, this could be the part where I could be petty and flex on them, but I'm not even gonna do that. I'm gonna actually, like, we had a whole hour conversation just about Africa, and he was like, yeah, I had never made it there and all this, and like him even opening up that much, I was like, oh wow. Like, there's some type of extra respect now, because even though you talked a lot of shit about me, I still just stayed focused and stayed what I was doing. And now I know he said something like, it's pretty impressive that you took something that I didn't think you would ever be doing anything other than playing with your friends and made it all the way to Africa because of it. His exact words. And he was like, he said it again. He was like, no, I'm really proud of you, and keep pops and just keep going and staying focused. And, don't give up, because at one point in time I had a dream and
so that's the shit I be talking about. The amount of projecting we do on one another just to get to the root of it and be like, man, somebody shitted on me at one point. So I'm doing it to you, but I don't mean it. Pursue your dreams. It's like, how many did y'all see Hov's Hall of Fame acceptance speech? 27 minutes of some of the most amazing. Just because Dave Chappelle comes out now, I think Dave Chappelle's like intro was maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, and then the tribute video that they do to him was a little like a 5-minute clip, and then to just watch Hov go up there and wing it, like completely wing it, because he's a real nigga. He's not writing no speech. It's absolutely not.
I don't even write my raps.
I don't even write. Yeah, what the fuck I look like writing a speech, right? But there was one part where he spoke about Tata, like always bigging him up, being like, nigga, you the greatest. Like, he's like, you know what, I am the greatest. And then they go to start shopping the deal and nobody signs him. He's like, maybe this shit ain't so tight. He's like, but his instinct wasn't to quit or even to take it personal in a sense of like, oh man, I need to pivot and completely quit. He was like, oh, well, we just got to do this shit ourselves. But in the process, get better, or at the very least explore other options of how to make it. He's like, so the hits were a direct response to you'll never make it in this town. So if you get a Hard Knock Life and it's like, well, shit, Hard Knock Life works so well, we may as well do the exact same thing. So if you listen to Volume 3, they have the Anything is the same song. It's the same setup. It's like, let's run it back. We'll get a hit out of it. And so they figure out this formula for hit making and just being able to write their own ticket. And not having to answer nobody. And I love that you highlighted that flip of that one word. Me and Teen had a conversation about this the whole drive back last night. It was like, it be the little shit that trigger shit in people that make them just take life on one. Teen be like, hey, how was work? Like, nigga, I've never had a fucking girlfriend or anybody consider what I do work. It's like, to your point, it's like, playing with your partners, being the idea of being we went to dinner a few nights ago. It was like, oh, he does music. Are you a musician or a producer? Because musicians are broke and stuff. Like, white lady just said this at dinner. No, had no shame at all. I said, this is many.
No, we had a whole trip of that.
The Hyphy is whites, bro.
The Hyphy is whites. The Hyphy is whites. The whites is out here wilding, y'all.
Gee, you guys don't even know the half of it.
Oh my goodness! You want to go, Lex? You want to tell them about that?
No, you can go ahead. You robust man. The white called him. The white called him a robust man.
We had dinner the first night.
Go ahead.
At dinner, we're not even sitting at this lady's table. She's there with us because they had a bunch of bread and they were thinking about doing developments in Ghana, and so like they're getting courted because they may come build buildings, bring big businesses there, McDonald's and Walmart and all that other stuff. So, of course, job creation is a big deal. And we're sitting there, and out of nowhere, she just starts, like, looking at me. I'm like, what's up? And she's looking at me. She's like, you know what? You're a very robust man. Like, for anybody who knows me, I've been skinny most of my life. I'm still skinny, and so robust isn't a word that applies to my physique. It's just not how
robust is mainly.
Robust is mainly. I literally immediately thought auction block. Like, I feel like this feels like some slave trade. Like, she's sizing me up, but for what? It's like, ma'am, you are 60-something and married. Like, I don't know
that shit don't go away.
Yeah, I have no clue what you need.
What do you think the slave owner
She gonna say the Lige and Bird.
I write children's books.
She said the Lige and Bird after he said I write children's books. She's like, oh, so both you guys don't do things with your physique?
True life.
She was like, that is so great that people the size of you and your robustness.
The wildest part, bro.
It got worse? Wait, what?
Oh, no, she's in that shit.
She can't help it.
No, couldn't help it. The wildest part, every single, like, monument we stopped at in Ghana that was, like, related to the slave trade or something like that, they always wanted to gather everybody and make a speech. Yeah. So it was, like, 2 white couples making speeches to all black people about the atrocities that happened here and how this is a shame and how we should never do this again. Bro, I can't tell. I said we.
We,
I can't tell you how sick that was. I was like, oh god.
oh shit.
They own one.
That's why I was so happy that they didn't go to the castle with us.
Oh, so this what y'all mean by inclusion?
Man,
Right?
You want us to join in on y'all fuck ups? Okay, got you. So
I will say though, Lex, like there's so much it's so powerful to me that like when people operate in their freedom and their truth, like you end up freeing other people along the way. Like that's what I think about when I think about your father and the conversations that y'all have, you know, based on how this like trajectory has gone. It's like there are probably going to be ways in which you free your dad that, you know, you don't even think about. And it's only because you're choosing to like operate in your freedom.
Right.
damn. There you go, B.
Yeah, I was just having that conversation with my brother, and I won't get into the details of the conversation, but the main thing that I was trying to get to, or just trying to unlock, was that you can either utilize or live your life thinking that somebody will eventually apologize for whatever they've done to you, or you can navigate this world that as if it's your own, and then unlock that in somebody else, that everything that you're looking for from somebody that did something to you, you'll probably end up getting if you just live your life to your fullest. You know what I'm saying? It's possible that'll happen, but if it doesn't, that's okay too. If it happens, then just utilize that as that was a marker and appreciate that moment, fully take it in, but don't live your life as that being your end goal. You know what I'm saying? Because what if you do get that? You know what I'm saying? And does that mean everything else just ceases to exist? You know, like you don't move forward, you don't move any further than that point because that was your end goal. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just a matter of how you see this whole thing. Like, that should just be a marker on the entire game plan that you have. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be like the end all be all. Right. It's just like getting acceptance from individuals, because you know individuals be having their own shit.
Yeah. And what you're doing is you're halting yourself. That's like exactly what you're saying. It's like if you halt yourself to stop, to wait for somebody to do whatever, how they respond, like you've created yourself a stagnant situation, as opposed to actually just keep going. And if the shit comes, the shit comes. But like, that's why I think people get stuck in ruminating over and over and over again about needing, you know, acceptance or validation from, or apologies or all these things, and you get caught in this cycle. And I think that's so much of what, like, many different options of how you view therapy. When I say therapy, I don't just mean the traditional form of going into a room and sitting across from a person, but like, it's getting you to get out of the cycle of ruminating and being stagnant in the same place in whatever aspect of your life, like over and over again, and just keep fucking going. Like, that shit'll come however it needs to, you know?
In whatever way. And that way might be completely different than what you set out to think it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. The you that you are right now is not the you that you are tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So like, even the way that you want that validation, or how you see that thing transpiring, won't even be in that form by the time it actually takes place, if it takes place. You know what I'm saying? So don't utilize that as your only source of happiness. You feel me?
There's a saying that I came across that I was like, damn, that's hella true, was that the universe doesn't give you patience, and patience can be replaced with any word, but it gives you the opportunity to master patience. And that was something I was sitting with this week specifically because I was having a conversation with somebody about the opportunities in which you get to like choose something different and move yourself in another direction. And specifically that I think a lot of times people do what I term as spiritual bypassing, which is like, we all understand, especially as I talk about like wellness being the new prostitution, but there's so much shit that gets thrown out. Like, we all can talk about manifesting and retrogrades and all these different things, but like, what are you actually applying to your life? So like, if you want to be a better communicator, it's your job to go get the tools to learn how to better communicate. But then it's your job to like rise to the challenge every time the universe offers you an opportunity to be a better communicator. And every time you take that opportunity, you will become better at being more conscious in the moment that this is literally, this situation, this tension, whatever it is literally just an opportunity to master this thing that I said I wanted to master. And I was thinking about that earlier this week because one of the things, and I think I said this to you the other day, but one of the things I'm trying to let go of is people pleasing. And one of the things I'm trying to grab on to let go of but then take on is like the idea of choosing myself in moments in which I would normally people please to the point of self-sabotage, or I'll call it self-sabotage, right? I'll sabotage myself to like be there for another person, or I'm so overly worried about how they're going to feel if I do or don't do a certain thing. And there was a moment where I was realizing I had been in like multiple situations this week where I had chosen, hey, no, like I think I'm going to do what's best for myself, and I don't really think I care that much how you feel about it because my intention isn't bad. Like I'm not doing this as a slight to you. And then I was realizing like, hey, this is something I had wrote down months ago about like, I want to get better at this. And in that moment, I was realizing like, hey, this is the universe giving you multiple opportunities to keep doing the thing that you said that you're going to do. So that shit becomes a habit and second nature in your mind. And that could be replaced with whatever word. It could be communication, it could be patience, it could be whatever the fuck it is for you. But like recognizing that when tension arises, that's all that is.
Damn, B, that's crazy that you were having. I'm curious to know more too, because I was thinking about it similarly, in praying, being very specific and clear about what you're asking God for if you have that relationship with God, right? And then and then those opportunities presenting themselves, and you not run through the door like, hey God, open this door for me, and then God opened a motherfucking like warehouse cargo door, and you go, I don't know if I'm like, wait, what? Like, why wouldn't you just run through it? And you actually see it more often than not like, and speaking for myself, having been so specific in prayers, and then to your point of like the opportunities to exercise said things, right? And then you not take it, and then go, man, the universe don't fuck with me. It's like, you just kind of missed the boat, like being consumed with everything else and not really being able to like, so many of us miss the play, just not being able to see the whole court. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're asking, you want to get a bucket here. You want, oh man, I want to be like Steph. It's like, nigga, go to the rack though. Like you can get so wrapped up in the variables outside of it. The thing that you're praying for the most, or is at the root of your prayer, presents itself every day and multiple times within a day. And the lack of just awareness it consistently makes for a space for you to just undermine said prayers, you know. And it's mainly that is what you were walking around processing and carrying, because that shit was heavy on me this week, you know, just being very intentional. Like L don't even know what his conversation this morning did, because it's like, yo, you don't know. You have zero regard for if people really see the whole scene. It's like, nah, dog, like certain shit that we're talking about, and that fruits are being, like the benefits from those labors are being reaped present day. We talking about a decade in the making of a nigga being told no, or having a door slammed in his face, or living in a studio trying to get that shit cracking, and then just running out of. I told Tina this last night. I was like, nigga didn't run out of money, just ran out of time. Like a lot of those early investments in the IP were supposed to manifest into something, and the deals just fell through. And it's like, like damn, like how many of us are built for that part of the marathon and going and just being able to just interface with those no's and go, all right, it's not a closed door, it's not a closed opportunity, it's not a complete shift to a different industry or career path. It's just you just gotta find another way in this motherfucker. And that it's that part for me where it's becoming a lot more evident, and you see it in folks too, in how they pray. And you said something last week, B, where it's like I need to see you exhausted first before I really know if I fuck with you. And then that led me to going like I love you. It's a lot of people I love. There's a lot of people I don't fuck with though at the same time. And so where do you fall in that? For me, it's like, yo, I love you, but I don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that understanding the nuances of our language is like when such and such. Oh yeah, I fuck with blood. You know what I'm saying? that means something very specific. And if you don't know, you don't know. And then what's crazy is the inflections in I fuck with blood. Like depending on how they say I fuck with blood, you be like, oh, you don't fuck with blood. For you don't. Like so you can learn so much based off of people's inflections, the very specific words. So I don't know. I thought that was fast. My bad. You was about to say? Are you about to say something, G?
Yeah. I mean, just listening to the whole thing, I think what tends to happen is that when you're not being true, which is going to be a common, like this is going to be like the underlining topic. When you're not being true, then what you're doing is that you're just trying to carve out as many excuses as possible for yourself. So like.
Wait a minute. When you're not being true, you're just trying to carve out as many excuses as possible for yourself.
That's the only reason why you would pray. The opportunity arises that you pray for, the door gets open, but you don't walk through it. That's the only reason why you'll do that.
Man, listen.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you walk through it, then that means. You gotta worry about the upkeep. You gotta worry about the maintenance of this thing. You gotta worry about like making sure that
you got responsibility.
You know what I'm saying? Like that roof gonna be bad in about 10 years. You gotta worry about making sure that thing is redone. You know what I mean? And making sure there ain't no leaks and all that stuff. Like all that shit is on you. You gotta design this inside. You gotta get furniture. This shit can't be a hollow house. You know what I mean? You gotta have you gotta have your personality to it. All that stuff. So these are all things that folks are thinking about prior to it, and like it sounds really good when it's no chance as hell that that's even gonna transpire. But when it does, and it's within grasp, it's like, well, shoot, if this, that, and the other would have happened, then I would have for sure had that. I'd have had that opportunity. You know what I mean? But I, as a matter of fact, there's something over here that I got to worry about real quick, and then I'll get to that. You know what I mean? So you just keep putting it off, and it's like, all right, well, when that door gets slammed, it's like, well, shit, I never had a chance in the first place. You know what I mean? I look back at my upbringing, or this person did this to me, and that that's the reason why I never got that. You know what I mean? So
my daddy was a war vet. So
you know what I'm saying?
I'm cheating on my girlfriend right now. Like,
you know what I mean?
Like, what that got to do with anything?
You know what I mean? That's
What's
oh
so
shit!
cool?
Look at that special guest. Special guest appearance. You feel me?
It's a party.
What's up, my guy? How you doing?
What's happening to my good brother?
But yeah, that's the only reason why you would even do it that way. So I mean, I think that's what it comes down to is just what I mean, the built-in excuses, man.
Demonizing wealth to keep class systems. And so what happened was I was looking at it was like a meme or some shit that was on Instagram, and it was saying like the reason, which let me round out the story, but it said the reason that we look at Beyonce and Jay-Z and say they must have sold their soul to achieve their success, but we look at Elon Musk and I think it said Jeff Bezos and say they worked hard to get what they're at is a form of like institutionalized racism, which to me I'm like, I don't know about all that. Like, I would have to like delve into that a little bit more. But what caught my attention more than anything from that was I was looking at the comments, and so many people, and specifically so many black people, were like, well, actually, it's no difference. They all sold their soul. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, it made me stop and think about the intersection of like how we utilize like mind control, or not mind, but like psychological like manipulation, and even religion in a way, to demonize wealth, because then people have no desire to attain it because they've associated this like negative thing to it. And people's spirituality is always going to beat out their like everyday operation of logistics. So if I can get people to associate gaining wealth with being a negative thing, with this thing with their spirituality, then they're never going to actually try to attain it in real life. And it's really simply a miss on like educating yourself. Like the more you learn about wealth, and the almost in a way, the higher up you go, you start to understand like the pragmatic and the logistics of it that don't feel like this isn't some, if something feels abstract and so far away from you, then it's very easy to demonize it. But if you actually get in it and start doing it, you realize like, actually, no, there are very practical and like pragmatic things that people are doing to gain this wealth. And given, I'm not going to argue that any billionaire's hands are completely clean, like probably not. But I do think that it's a mindset that perpetuates the class system. And that's why I didn't like really want to sit with race on that. But I do think it's a mindset that perpetuates class, of like, if you're in a certain socioeconomic class in this country and you make that association, you're probably always going to stay in that socioeconomic status and never transcend.
The hard part that makes it to elude the race conversation in that for me is that it seems so intentionally applied and filtered throughout black folks in general. Like we're hella culpable in the system that is like in capitalism, but are again those spectrums. It's that conversation at Thanksgiving the other day. Like Unc is in there talking about what a woman's place is, and the young women are in there like, fuck that, we independent. It's like, yeah, all of that is true. Like all of it applies to the same thing. So it's like, yeah, you can be a part of this shit and be a consumer for real. You can really be into it too, and you can to the point to where Affirm and Karma and all them, like they really running it up, because you can get finance anything. You can finance a fucking bottle service now.
What?
Like it's sick out here for us. So if you can do that,
Bro, financing bottle service is nuts.
it's nuts.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
you still paying off bottle service from 3 months ago?
I ain't got it right now, but nigga. March, I'm gonna be up. So you can
For $99 a month, this could be all yours.
You can
Tonight.
You can fully do that, but you can't. The second you're a billionaire, you Illuminati. That's crazy. If you're a black billionaire, excuse me, you sold your soul on some level, and yeah, I don't know who starts those conversations, but nigga, we have them. Like the way a house could be divided about a Beyonce or a Hove or about a Ye. We talked about a white liberal woman telling you about Kanye. Like that's a many conversation to have. But what's even manier is to walk in your house where your grandfather that got dementia is watching TMZ for his news and going, what the hell is wrong with Kanye West? I'm just like, God damn, this is a complicated conversation to have with you, because you got dementia for real, but you hear enough to ask me about because you watching TMZ and not Fox, which is kind of tight, but also terrifying too. I have no idea where to go with this. And this is also the same person that told me to join the military so I have benefits. Like, so I don't really know how to talk to you about like economics at all, bro. I don't know where to even begin with you. That's the part that makes it hard for me, because Brett from Earn Your Leisure was like, we black people, we experts on all the shit we don't really know about. Like we don't know how money work for real. You know, and outside of what Dr. Sebi was like trying to push on niggas, do we really yeah, for real. We don't know. Do we know how food works and like what we're ingesting and what especially what for black people what triggers our inflammation and all, like do we really understand for real? And then to walk around like experts and to do even more damage and to project that shit onto some impressionable kids is just like, hey man, I wanna make a movie one day. What you wanna do that for? What? Like why King Richard, bro? Don't, hey, if you own any type of negative, don't talk to my kids. Don't even look at them.
Hey,
Go the other way.
opposite, please. You're too close.
You're too close, man.
Yeah, man, that's really what it is. What I was gonna say was that unfortunately when we bring, actually go ahead, because I have to regain it.
He said, I gotta
regain it because like it. I was thinking of like the amount of times that. Oh, here we go. My bad. All right, so I think what takes place is that, and at least in my life, what I saw a lot of was that you reach a point that's beyond the scope of the people that have always looked out for you. So like you're in uncharted territory, and they're just telling you you're out too far. You don't have like the proper, protective gear. You know what I'm saying, for where it is that you are, and I can't reach you. So I'm just calling out to you to come back. You know what I mean? I think that's really what transpires within our families, and you just have to be okay with being out there on your own with it, because it's a little difficult to try to navigate these waters also while holding on to others, you know what I mean, and trying to get them to come along with you, but they're fighting against the tide and the current, and you're like, well, I can do this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're mentally, I'm like, I can do this shit, but folks is not allowing you to do so, and now you got to make your decision on, am I going to let this person go, or am I going to drown? And it's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, which option am I going to choose? And unfortunately, we can have people stick around for so long that we get so tired swimming. I'm going so far into this analogy, but we can get so tired swimming that we like, you know what? I ain't even got the energy to go against this tide no more, so I'm just gonna go with it and end up back at the beginning. And it's like, my only thing that I can pull from is the time that I was so tired going out there that now I can build these blocks in myself that, oh, I'm not even gonna go out there again. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the unfortunate part of things, is that you can get too tired to keep going.
Right. And so much of this is predicated on losses, like and knowing how to interact with them and knowing how to like audit that the data and apply that shit to the next one. And you don't realize the young boys that were doing the film yesterday, them niggas argued for, like, they made the calls right there. Here's the call sheet. Here's the locations and the times. This is how long we're going to be there, Monty. I promise how you out of there about 4. It was like 4:15. These niggas were still arguing over the lighting. And they were like, no, bro, it ain't no beams, bro. I'm telling you, because I'm looking at the diagram from Mick Jenkins' video, and I'm like, ooh-wee. Director came after. He's like, man, I'm so sorry you had to see that. I was like, nah, bro, y'all got something here. Like, the fact that all y'all care that much about the lighting, y'all gonna be great. Like, tension is player. Like, and it's only black people where you can't argue with a nigga, like, and we do it, but we don't do it for not. Money's the one thing we don't do it for. Like, it go from, you my cousin, now I'll kill you, as opposed to that business move we did together didn't go as well. Can we figure this out the next go around? But every big Fortune 500 company generates tension, especially when they don't have it. We're in the black last quarter. All right, bro, don't get complacent. Let's figure this shit out. iPhone 75 will have a fucking whatever on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you gotta, we just have to have a whole new relationship with tension, and but for it to be either you're a consumer and you spend the money you don't have, or you're a billionaire and you're the devil. You sold the soul to the devil is a crazy sort of like there's no middle ground in terms of just a pursuit of the mastery B was talking about before. It's like, dog, like you get an opportunity to like, all right, I may have gotten taken advantage of on this deal. This next one, I learned some things, boom. But it ain't, oh, I'm packing my bag, I'm never doing it again. Nah, keep going, keep figuring it out. Ain't like that's what it's designed for. What was you about to, my bad, I hella cut you off, Lex.
I think
the lighting.
With the lighting thing, it makes me think about when me and Lige was down in L.A. We spent, 3 hours figuring out the lighting for the interviews? And our original plan was, we get there at 8:30, we set up, first interview at 10.
Yeah, psych.
Nah, didn't work that way. But the whole time, all three of us, me, him, and Fox, were having conversations about, what does this look like? Do this look right?
Right.
This don't look right.
Right.
But it look right. No, it don't. And just bouncing back and being able, and that was like one of the first times where I've been like on set, able to have those conversations, and everybody know all we trying to do is get the best shit.
Right. Get you somebody you could disagree with for real, bro. Like all that comfortable shit, and because you'll get to the meeting and play your music and be sounding crazy because your niggas and tell you, hey, that ain't him, bro. That ain't it. If you going in there, I wouldn't play that one. You know, it's like you need that shit around, but it's complicated.
Agility.
It's complicated. It don't need to be. Before we keep moving along, B, can we acknowledge the loss of a cultural icon in Virgil Abloh passing away, like right before we started. We got that news, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but to your point of demonizing wealth, B, it's certain people. There's no disputing their contributions to culture. Dolph, a couple weeks ago, like that still feels sickening, because he's taken in a way, and from the earlier reports, it looked like Virgil's passing was due to cancer, and that doesn't make it hurt any less. And then we experience, like, people that aren't celebrities and stars and stuff, we experience loss with family members and stuff like that too. Just as creators, seeing what Virgil was able to do coming through that camp, and then luckily enough, like, all of us have ties to niggas who have ties to, so the information is a little bit different. But can y'all anybody speak on, how Virgil not even directly impacted you, but just seeing Brez ascension and like partnerships and like to take, I don't know, it's just it's unique. I don't think we've seen anything like that before. I didn't want to do our whole 2-hour show and not speak about someone who's that prolific.
Yeah, I mean, just in such a micro sense, trying to balance out the arts with the business, right? Like, I mean, as you just talked about earlier, just there's this sort of idea of the struggling artist, and if you're going to go into the arts, you have to be broke. But that intersection of being true to my creativity, but also having real business opportunities is, I think, where the economics and the generational wealth really come in with some of the things we have to offer. And just seeing Virgil be able to navigate that, doing things that were still bold and striking, but also doing them in a way that gives him a platform, gives him amplification, distribution, and income.
Distro.
It's like we talk about all the time. There's a lot of people cooking great food, and as a community, we have to figure out how can we amplify that so we can get some people into the restaurant to actually enjoy that great food. There's no shortage of people doing amazing stuff. at least in my experience in the arts. It's just like, how do we get those folks the right support that they need in specific ways so that everybody can enjoy it? I mean, I think art and storytelling in general is a public service if it's done at its highest form. It's our ability to empathize and connect. It's a vehicle. And so when we don't get those people like Virgil, when we don't get those bodies of work, so many people go uninspired by that missed opportunity, just by that person not being able to exist on 10. So, I mean, I was very grateful for his body of work, just because of what it showed, not only in the arts, but just in making it a viable thing for you and your family and other people you may not even know, but you want to help build for. Because I think that's like, that XY axis is honestly what a lot of folks are striving for, but to do it with authenticity, without losing yourself. So I think that's it.
See, that's why we need niggas like this just walking around. Also, no, real shit. Because
Stopping at fire hydrants to stretch and shit. You know?
That's next.
Bird, no, you said a lot, but and all of these things, for me at least, all of these things connect. And in demonization of wealth, so much of our wealth is generated through expression and entertainment, and we're at this really strange spot where the rules that were in place were to control the distro. Make as much as you want, but you're not gonna be able to sell nothing on this block. And on top of sell it, you're not gonna be able to retain any ownership. Like, get out of here. So now, Ye running around doing those interviews and ranting about the fashion houses and all that. Like, that was a distribution conversation. And the framework of economics around expression and entertainment and creativity as a whole is one that is so delicate and so polarizing. You in particular, and not just your temperament, but your experience and writing and creating books from nothing, and then figuring out, okay, all right, hey, this creation shit is fly, but now I gotta get them around the world. Like, how much has your relationship to creativity changed in that discovery alone, or has it changed?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think for me, because I was fortunate to grow up in the industry of publishing when I was 10 years old. So this is a story that happened to my mom that resonated with both of us, and I think it changed the course of both of our lives. She was working for the government in housing and urban development. She got a promotion. She was killing it, so we moved from Oakland to D.C., and she was at a retirement party for one of her colleagues. The lady had been, I think, working with her for like 30, 35 years. I still remember the lady. I was about 11 at the time. And we're at the retirement party. Lady gives a speech. She says, I'm out of here. I did my time. I'm going to garden. I'm going to spend time with my grandkids. I'm going to travel the world. Well, she retires one day and dies the next. My mom, as a young mother in her 30s, maybe she's around the same age I'm right now, around 34. She's like, oh, hell no. And immediately starts working on her first book. It's a poetry book. She takes all of her savings. She quits her job. She puts it into self-publishing this book. It doesn't work. It doesn't sell at all. And to her credit, because she's a beast, she's like, okay, well, I'm going to double down. I got friends with some money. Maybe if I borrow $500 from X amount of friends, I have another book idea, but this one, it's a relationship fiction. It's not poetry. She does that, prints 10,000 copies in the blind because she heard on Oprah, if you sell 10,000 copies, you'll get a book deal, a traditional book deal. So takes all this money from her partners as loans, prints 10,000 copies of her first book, Soulmates Dissipate, and runs it up. It's a runaway bestseller. She ends up getting a 3-book deal with the publishing house, and now she's on book number 30. But I think being close to the industry.
What a flex.
She's a beast.
Book 30. You
Novel-
bitch ass
novel
niggas.
30, right?
Niggas can't even get on SoundCloud, bitch ass niggas. Book 30, nigga.
Oh, God.
For real.
Yeah. No,
In a heartbeat, that's the energy.
Like that, verbatim. To another author?
To another author at their book signing.
The other authors. But no, being close to the industry, I think what helped me is to see the business of it, to see she always let me in on contracting. You get to see like most 3 out of 4 books never make it to the royalty phase, which means that most authors eat on royalties. No matter how big your advance is from a publisher, that's a one-time check. I don't care if it's 250 bands. At some point, you're going to need some more money. And the passive income that comes from a book that's just selling and you ain't got to do nothing but get your check every 3 to 6 months, depending on your publisher, is is what's so raw about it. And so, like,
I love how you.
it's
I'm with you. I'm
You
with
know
you.
what I mean?
Net 30, net 60, net 90 means something different to everybody. I just want to point that out.
It's so different, bruh. And so that's what I realized, like, oh, that's what's broken, at least that's the opportunity in publishing. It's not just people making great art. It's how can people get better royalties? How can they get those royalties faster? So why does it have to be 3 to 6 months as opposed to a monthly payout? Because if you are a teacher who wrote a dope book, but you also have a family, like 3 to 6 months is very different than a monthly passive income. And so, like, really getting into it, I credit her for more of the business side. The art is either you have a heart for it or you don't, and that's totally fine. But the business of it is like, how can we build a better mousetrap, a better railroad? And that's where the equity is going to come in, especially for marginalized communities, because those are the ones getting the fewest opportunities at the table, like everywhere else. Publishing's the same thing. About half of 50%, over 50% of children's books that feature black characters are not written or illustrated by a black person. So
One more, Bert.
Yep.
Stop. Y'all stop, bro. Because niggas be come on here and just be saying shit and then just say it and then we be on to like, hey, Monty, I wish y'all would have. And then I get blamed for it. Like no, please just read just so that fact lands for real. Say those numbers again, please.
So over 50% of black children's books are featuring black characters. So if you see a black family in the picture book on the cover, we're talking like Dr. Seuss type books, right? Are not written or illustrated by a black person. So obviously that means a couple of things. One, it means appropriation. But 2, it means that somebody's getting paid to tell black stories that's not black. Somebody's getting that publishing contract to basically speak for a group that they are not a part of. When that group already gets so few, we already get so few opportunities at the table. And so it's about how can we actually build that equity and that distribution, because the industry has shown it's not going to move very quickly. We have to sort of take it upon ourselves to like put each other on and build those railroads. Because we've been building dope trains, but if they own all the railroads, what you going to put your train on? Like, that's what it's been. It's like, that's a beautiful train. What you gonna do with that? Because we got all the railroads. So
Hey, put some 20s on that bitch.
Right?
And park it right in the driveway.
Right. You know what I'm
And that's
saying?
where niggas smoke on
Spinner
Thanksgiving.
hubcap.
We've been sitting in my cousin Caprice nigga for 20 years. He was gonna fix that bitch. I promise you. That bitch was hard when he got it the first Thanksgiving, nigga. That's just the smoke shop now. That's crazy. That's so we all sick for that.
Nigga, hotbox the fuck out of that train, boy.
Man, our rest in peace to Virgil. You also spoke about the need for people to be inspired, and that's what I think about when I think about Virgil, because my mind immediately goes to Ye. But when I think about Ye, my mind immediately goes to Dame, Biggs. I don't even get the Hove before I just get to Dame and Biggs, because you go like Rory and Maul interviewed Guru and Hip Hop, and for me, they hold all the answers to the Rockefeller story, right? The A&R, the engineer, the ones that had the vision and then had to do the grunt work every day. Y'all know where the bodies are buried for real. And so when you start speaking about family tree and impact and infiltration, and then just putting hella people on, that inspiration part, it gets lost and oftentimes devalued, or not even devalued, because devalued feels like something intentional. The inability to understand how rich that is to inspire folks. It seems to happen in and around things that we create, because it could mean potential distribution channels. And I'm probably going to keep referencing it the rest of the conversation, G. That's exactly the conversation we were having when we walked in. Like I keep it a being with y'all. Like I know hella dope rappers. Like everybody tight. Niggas is nice for real. Like come in here and make classics, and it don't matter at all because you don't have a distro hub. And if you do, it's DistroKid, it's fucking CD Baby, it's all the same ones, or you can upload your shit on Empire and cross your fingers you get your bread. Or that you'll be seen. Nigga, Young Boy's been #1 on YouTube for streaming for the last 2.5, almost 3 years now. Kid doing a few billion streams on his videos. Niggas is trying to push their cancel culture line, so you first one that's gotta go. You don't got no radio play, and they just took your shit down, and you just was in the feds for the last almost a year, and you Grammy nominated. Get him the fuck out of here. He got something figured out that we can't control, and we not getting no back end off of it. Get him up out of here immediately. Young NBA YoungBoy got these kids brainwashed. It's the coolest shit I've ever seen. Keep it a being with you. One of the foster kids at the group home, nigga is reading. He's in the 6th grade, is reading at like a 3rd grade reading level. Can rap YoungBoy word for word, breath control, everything. Ain't nothing wrong with that kid, and there's nothing wrong with him. He just don't fuck with how y'all teaching him. he that's simple as that. He just don't fuck with how you teaching him. But that kind of power, that kind of influence, that kind of inspiration, granted, we can argue lyrics and subject matter and content. That's another separate conversation outside of just the influence and inspiration and the controlling of the distribution channels. To take every single young boy, they weren't allowing him they weren't allowing him to monetize and or promote. So you couldn't run ads and anything. So him and his team go, fuck it, we'll go do it ourselves. So just look out for that. I don't know where he's gonna land and how they gonna do it, but the fact that he pulled all this shit down off YouTube is a really, really big deal. To be Grammy nominated with 0 radio play, he got one song here and there. That nigga's songs do not get played on the radio, period. And he's the biggest artist and was just in jail. So that distro conversation is a touchy one. And so few of our creators, no matter what the discipline is, really get into that. So the Ye can sound crazy after a while, but when Virgil finesses and Off-White does what it does, and you land a deal, and you're at this place, and people are trying to understand why. Those distro channels, man. How can we get this in? How can everybody be wearing this? How can everybody have this? It's always interesting that I feel like you, Murph now, shit, even Raj. I feel like there's certain people that occupy really very, very specific spaces in the industry that do both at high levels, like. To be on both the creative and the admin side is one of those ones where it's just hard to do, and to navigate, because so much of your creativity is dependent upon mystique and all this other weirdo shit. And you're like, bro, I'm just trying to get to the bag though. At the end of the day, trying to get to the bag, and in the process, make sure my niggas get to it, and nobody's telling us what we can and can't not do as far as like what we care about. To get to hear you articulate it and break it down to me is hella important, because so few people understand that part of it all. It's like again, everybody can rap. Like there isn't a shortage of niggas that can just gas. We can go outside right now and just ask the very first person. I promise you, and they got a Fire 16. Come on, nigga, come make this album real quick. Then it's not the point. It's totally not the point. Those distro channels. Be with the
Wait, can I ask Bert a question right quick?
Yeah, what's going on?
When you speak about like there's the creative side, but there's also like the economic side, right? And so when I think about that, I think about that's your left and right brain, right? And so I'm wondering, like, in your experience, does be like the more you get versed in this economic side of how to move appropriately in that way, how do you like when it comes to creating, how do you switch your brain over? Like, do you have to put yourself literally in a different space? Like, do you have to physically remove yourself and put you in a different space to actually then go back to creating the story, the art, the things of that nature? Like, how do you get, what is the situation around like being able to switch between being in that creative energy versus being in this like a little more like logical and pragmatic space around the economics of it?
It's so wild that you're asking that specific question right now, B, because I just had like a real soul searching moment about a week ago. The company.
Nigga, I'm magical. Come on now, you know what's up.
No, because I moved to LA to join this company to work with Black Santa, who's a character built out by Baron Davis, and I ended up just basically performing two functions: one as a business person and another as a creative. And it was paining me because the business was actually taking up about 80% of my time, and I wasn't really getting to write. You know, I'm not a business person who became a creative. I'm a creative who became a business person to sustain my creative. And so I wasn't, you know, although I love the business side because of what it can provide in terms of opportunities and generational wealth and pipelines, I wasn't really getting to create. And then I had to be honest with myself and say, right now, can I be of more help as somebody who can help provide opportunities and pathways, or as somebody who's writing another book? And it pains me because what I want to do is make stuff. Like, that's what I love to do. That's when I feel most connected and alive, and I'll have opportunities to do that. But I honestly said, look, if I have to pick one, I think right now, like in terms of my mission, which is creating opportunities and pathways for marginalized communities in the arts, this is how I can serve that mission better. And so if I got to fully put on that hat for 1, 2, 3, 4 years and just make sure that as the best I can, that I can help direct like opportunities and pay and stuff like that, then that's where it's at. And that's how I need to serve right now. And so to answer your question, I still try to protect my creativity by writing by hand, making sure I'm always like consuming art, especially in my space, but also not in my space. You know, listening to y'all, like getting all different types of inputs so it can go through the chamber. But to be completely honest, I feel like right now the biggest thing that I need to focus on is the business. And that's been hard. I can't say that that's been like a celebration. That's been really hard. But I do feel like it's kind of.
What are some of the, and you don't have to get in all of them, but
Yeah.
if you could pinpoint a few.
Yeah.
What are some of those difficulties or some of those like variables of like, bro, I could totally just mail it in and just go write my work on me. What are some of those things that do make it hard to continue that path of serving?
Yeah, I mean even coming at it thinking about like why come to choose this now is because I feel like I have chosen the other thing. I feel like I have chosen making the art. And I've seen how hard it is to really get art out there. And now you have an opportunity to do the business that will make it a lot easier, even if it's not your art, to help other people get art out there. And so it's, I think that's what's been tough. Instead of writing a script, I'm like sending emails or in on calls and working on white papers. You know what I mean? It's not sexy. You know, it's not exciting. But I do understand that like if I were to move purely into the creative, what I'm essentially doing is allowing somebody to come in and be my boss. I'm leaving the seat of decision making to go down into creative, but now I have to probably convince somebody who may know less than I do or may care less than I do about this medium that this is something worthwhile. And so that situation just seemed kind of wild to me. And so I think that's what makes it hard, man. It's just it doesn't fill your cup in the same way, but it does. I think it does more good in a wider reaching sense. And but you got to sacrifice a piece of yourself. And that's been difficult.
How do you reset your mind? And this may be something that, since you said you were just processing this, maybe you haven't gotten to it yet. But if you're choosing, like you were in a place where you're having to make a difficult decision, like it just is what it is, and you're choosing this other space to be in that's a little more in service to other people and opening doors and all of those things, but there's still the reality of like you're gonna have to reset your mind and still have to find like the beauty and the joy in that space because you're going to operate in that space a little bit more. Like, how do you reshift your like your perspective? Like, how do you be present and find joy in doing this other thing that is, like it's not the fun, glamorous part. It's the very like pragmatic part.
I mean, at least for me, it's finding joy and fulfillment in the results, right? Like I had a chance to go to the Black Santa activation, Black Santa and CC in San Francisco. The mascots are there; they're taking pictures with kids, and it's like, yeah, maybe I haven't had the chance to write as many stories for Black Santa, but because I get to help overall, then I get to see this kid genuinely smiling, having a great time with these characters that look like him. And I think like that sort of macro impact, even though it's not as intimate as maybe creating a story and seeing what it does. Long story short, I think part of it, the creative side is ego, right? Like I want to be a part. I want to be in the kitchen with everybody. I like cooking up, but that's not what's needed right now more than other stuff. So I think the end result of hopefully seeing kids be able to see the Black Mickey Mouse, which is what we're trying to make him. I think that just holds some purpose that's different than any other opportunity that's been on the table. It's in timing. Timing makes such a huge difference that I just don't want to focus on the wrong thing at the wrong time, and have it be maybe okay for me personally, but not necessarily for the bigger missions that we're all working for. So. Yeah, it's a strange intersection. I've never been here before, and it's been challenging, for real.
Monty, do you almost like do you resonate with that in a way? Because I think when you spoke last week about that shift you were having about like kind of around rapping versus being in service, like are you in a similar space?
No, that's kind of why I'm just processing it, because Bird is exactly like he's nailing it, and he's got a little bit more framework, or a lot more framework around it than I do. The idea of niggas being like, yo, when you putting out an album is sound like the silliest shit in the world to me right now. Like it, like I don't even like it. Not even on no like it just for what, bro? Like the baby in here, I keep cut, but fuck rap. Like they're not taking care of none of my niggas. They're not making sure our wellness is like the prostitution of wellness. Like now niggas in rap that ain't never gave a fuck about nobody wellness is promoting wellness. And at the same time making the same shit that they've been making. So it's like, oh, y'all goofy for real. So I'm not best served making another record right now. There are artists. There are prolific artists like Jane Hancock that just need a nigga to remind them to that they the GOAT. Like my role might be better served just doing that. Making sure Kev got enough bandwidth to just get his shit off. Like it's other shit that's way more fulfilling right now than making a rap song. But like it's cool. And then like you put it up, the niggas who already listen to you go, oh, that shit tight, and then you back at square one. It's not actually impacting no change. It's not building nothing. It's not an actual system that other people can benefit off of, and it's not feeding other families. So as of right now, and perhaps that'll change, but the distribution conversation is so important to me right as of right now is because we've never had one. And then the few times we actually were in positions to have one as a region, as a viable region, as one of the top 10 markets, which we've been for God knows how long, the idea that there's no residual like economic benefit in present day seems kind of silly. Like you walk up and down Telegraph and there's all these co-workspaces that are government funded that have been fully rebuilt, restored, Wi-Fi facilities, you name it, and they'd much rather just have them empty than put the artists in there for free. Like, that's disgusting. Like, there's nothing you can tell me to make that make sense. When in Oakland, just Oakland, this is before you get to San Francisco, Vallejo, Richmond, before you get to the surrounding parts, just in Oakland alone, you can go stand in the middle of any street and just stumble into some of the most talented people you've ever met. And so with no initiative to serve them, I would be like the rest of these niggas that's been on boards and committees that have had access to government funding and ain't never put nobody on. Man, there's been art grants given out in Oakland for forever that artists don't know about. And no one put them on because niggas got in there, found out what it was, and they shut the door behind them. That's crazy. Hey, Monty, you can get a grant for this right now and do the same thing. That's not the play. So educating the artists around me, the Ian Kellys, the Jane Hancocks, the Black Achilles, the Passwords, like the fact that I get to be around them and like just be in a support role. Jizzle's records, like them songs sound nuts, bro. Like I'd rather do that right now.
I got a question, Monty. Do they work out percentage points if you don't have like the upfront money to work at to do something in a studio?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That happens every day.
That's the going. That's the going.
Oh yeah, that's
gotcha.
Because no artist got no money, you know, and it's like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking about as far as like not utilizing a studio if the artist doesn't have the money.
Yeah, you can come in here and record all you want to. I'll own 50% of whatever you make. You can go right ahead. I got to really, like I was telling I don't know Dame like that. We got to really shout out to the boy Dame, bro. Like a nigga put a fucking play together and on the most beautiful shit. But we got to really rap and understand his perspective. He's like, bro, can't nobody come back to the REEF to do nothing if they ain't signing no paperwork, because niggas is coming and just pillaging the sauce. Like he's like, I can see it from all the way over here, nigga. So I know y'all got to feel away. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. It's crazy. So it ain't to be on no tycoon shit. It ain't to be. It's like just to protect yourself, because money make people who ain't never had it do some nut shit. Like a lot of our existence and just finessing and moving around is so predicated on scarcity. And so the amount of things you can get people to do to go against whatever their moral setup is or whatever behind some bread is madness. It's absolute madness. So to answer your question, B, absolutely. But Bird, the framework, if it sounded like I was rambling last week, Bird's framework is exactly what, and Bird's framework and then L's clarity this morning is exactly what I was seeking in that stream of conscious ramble last week.
From the conversation that you Sue, and Push was had, I noticed that there was like 4 people in the comments that all said the same thing about, oh, they had me until they were talking about how they're only doing it for the bag. And so then it just made my mind think about, why do people love the struggling artist until they're not struggling? And why do they get upset when the artist says, I'm in it for the bag now? Because it's like...
Oh, you saw that comment?
Yeah.
You saw, oh, okay. I got that makes hella sense now.
And because I just think about how artists start off and they're giving the people all that they have, because they don't have the music, so they're giving them all that emotion, everything. And usually the first project don't even hit, second one don't hit, then when it finally hit, and then they're still doing it, and then it's not no more for the love, because now it's a real deal business. Now it goes from it just being free and people listening and people falling in love with it to now this is how my kids are going to eat, how the rest of my family is eating. So it can't just be, oh, I'm doing it for the love. It can't be that anymore. You have to start thinking about what else does it attain. Like, I can do 5 songs on the project that are more for me, but the other 7 songs need to be more for the people. And I can't remember what artist said that. He'd be like, all you motherfuckers want from me is depressed music. Secretly, I ain't even depressed no more, but I still got to make this dark shit because that's what my fan base likes.
It makes me think of Ryan Davis, the comedian. And I think a lot of other comedians probably do this as well. He talked about that kind of same idea of how people reacted to him super poorly because he's a comedian, and I think he gained a lot more of his following via social media. And he's like, I'm not just a social media TikTok person. Like, I'm a genuine comedian that's like really good at my craft. And so at some point when he built enough, he switched over to Patreon and he went behind a firewall and he took his videos down off of Instagram. And people were reacting so crazy, like, you know, like you were here and you were giving us all this free content and now you're asking us to like pay for it and like all of this shit. And it's very interesting that like it's like people will people will fuck with you until you want to like until you want to do something different. It's like the second you don't fit into their box of who they've created you to be, like you give a part of yourself to something and people take that part and build the entirety of who they believe you to be. And when you do something out of that box, people go wild. And it's like, I don't know. It's really weird to me because I'm like, y'all go throw your money at anything at Walmart and Target and all this other shit and never think twice. But if I'm asking to be reimbursed for my IP or the laugh I gave you today or any of that shit that I really gave y'all for free for however many years until I got popping, like now it's an issue.
One of the most bugged out things though is like how culpable capitalism is been in just getting artists to devalue their own efforts. So you don't know what to charge, especially today. If everybody got a phone in their pocket and everybody got influencer in their bio, what am I supposed to charge you for real if you can go on this person page and just be entertained for free? Or what you think is for free, or what you don't understand as far as the inner workings of business and stuff. And so that part of it is just a complete and this don't even just apply to like black creatives either. This is like across the, like, if you identify as a creative, there's a very, very strong chance that your idea of how this is supposed to work on some economic shit is completely upside down. Like, you don't have a clue.
And it's twisted for folks to believe that anything is free. Like, there's nothing that's actually free. So if someone's getting paid, and unfortunately the person that you're watching for free is not the person that'll be getting paid in most cases for this one. You know what I mean? Like, somebody that's not even a part of the putting out the creation for you is the one that's getting paid, and that's not the way this thing is supposed to go. So when the artists are like, when the actual individual wants to go behind a paywall or actually wants to, you know, get their just due after they've done all this work, you know what I mean, for you without receiving the actual, I mean, they received something, but they didn't receive what their worth was in it. Once they go and grab their worth, that's unfortunate that you as an individual can't, you know, lock on to that, you know what I mean? But that's the reason why, as the creator or as any person, I would say, that's the reason why you can't put so much stock in the public. You should utilize the public because it's beneficial. You know, the masses are beneficial, but you also got to understand that mass appeal has like a dog chasing a fire hydrant type of mentality. Like, they hear the sirens and they're running behind that one. Another siren can take place and they're off to that one. You know what I mean? So it's not like you got to be very careful about being whimsical with the public that is already whimsical. You know what I mean? You got to work. You got to get behind that on yourself. You know what I mean? That's work on the individual. And once you do cross over into that awareness of that, you got to stick with it. You got to be strong within what your beliefs are over the knowledge that you received. Hopefully you receive that shit sooner rather than later, but you know, the sooner the better. And when you do, you got to stick with it and be a-okay with the decisions that you make that is more beneficial to you as an individual. Folks be forgetting the fact that you are the only motherfucker that is out here that's going to be looking out for yourself. You got to understand that part. The sooner the better. If anybody's been paying attention to hoop and everything, the Lakers are the perfect example. The reason why you don't see superstars playing 20 years is like the level of disgruntled you can be by the time you get to a certain position in life. Like Brian out here getting flagrant twos and fines and fights and like this is all like this is exactly why the cats don't utilize that much time. And I see why Jordan took the little time off or whatever, but that's also why I see Brian being number one and Jordan being number two, is because you go all the way through to get to your 20. You got to be a different type of dude for you not to get disgruntled prior to then. Like it took you getting to 19 years, and now you like, I'm off this shit. It's championship or I beat your ass.
No, literally.
It ain't no in between, bro. It ain't no like, maybe next year. Gee. Oh, you know what? I see my son coming in about 3 years, so I'm gonna just stick around. That's probably how you started. But you like
that's not the energy now,
bro. 82 games is a long time, bro. Like I can see
if
out
there fucking around,
bro. I can see if I started my season, bro, at about game number 65. Like I took off the entire year, came in game 65, and I'll just make the playoff push. Then yeah, you could probably keep a piece of your mind. But starting from game 1, oh no. Not at no 35 after I played 18 years and my knees bad.
No,
Can I ask why was his fine so? Because I don't know enough about basketball. I don't know much of anything, but why was his fine so much bigger than the other guys?
Because he actually hit, bro.
He made that nigga's whole face explode.
Yeah, he actually did hit, bro. And then it was on accident, it was on purpose. You can debate that all you want to, but that he clocked the shit out of, bro.
Yeah, and it has to do with name too, like name on that one. So it's because it was LeBron that did that. So since it was LeBron that did that, then really the fine was whatever, and the suspension was whatever. Anybody else though, nigga, that's a few games off.
Right. That's the part. But to your point, this is why we don't see people in year 20. This is why I didn't want to see Brian in year 20. I have the imagery of Michael Jordan as a wizard burned in my brain. I have the imagery of Shaquille O'Neal in a Celtics jersey burned in my brain, and I can't unsee it, and it makes me sad. So watching Brian, his mind is fine.
Yeah, mine's just.
But his body don't do what his mind wanted to do the way it used to do.
As often as it needs
as often as it needs to do. So now we in this weird space. So the basketball in itself is hard to watch.
And also people be having you fucked up when you that nice.
Oh no. Yeah.
And like the level of disrespect that, because you got other players in the league that's disrespectful. Like when they played against the Phoenix Suns, and Cats is over there doing dumbass. But Cats is up there doing their like celebratory and mocking and all that stuff. And when I say the entire Lakers sideline is like, bro, we'll fight you for real.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we them old heads that we don't mind taking a few games off. We need that anyway. Right. But yeah, I mean, I think that's another part of it too, is just that the game continues on, and young cats forget that folks been doing this for a minute, and they be like, nah, it's my turn. So that's where you got young Boo Boo.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like weak niggas acting like they wasn't weak because you old.
That's it. Just because you play 40 minutes and just fine, and I just gotta wait to the last 15 to really like do my do. You know what I mean? Like I play solid my first 5 minutes, and then I got the last 15 at me. You know what I mean? In between is just like, all right, bro, you got it. You got way too much energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing defense where I need to play defense, but like, that's just like the disrespect of it. But that's why you just gotta show people your hands. That's why old folks just be showing hands. That's why you get that extra elbow, extra little knee to the gut. That little backhand to the lip. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
B, what's now that
Can we just say L as an old man is gonna be a sight to behold?
Well, L from here on out.
I'm like,
what you mean?
the
What
level
you mean?
of fucks.
Oh,
I
you
don't.
talking about right now? That's me right now. What you mean?
I'm just
I'm
like,
starting
this
now
nigga
just
about to
so
go
that,
into
like,
negative
this is gonna
fucks
start-
giving.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna get a head
When you
start.
in your prime old
Right.
age.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Because I feel great physically. You know what I'm saying? So why would I wait? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to be 60 and like I don't know what I'm about to be like at 60. You know what I mean? I played a lot of years of hoop, so I don't know what 60 look like for me. You know, I don't
You
know.
like, but right now,
Well, right now, bro. What you talk about, bro? I already got that energy. I'm somebody, OG.
I'm somebody. OG is crazy.
My bad. Y'all got me started, man.
I'm somebody. OG might be the funniest shit in life.
I feel like people get older and stop giving as many fucks, and I don't know what that looks like when somebody already gives zero. Like, dude, is zero the baseline, or can we get into negative?
Exactly. I think it's gonna be negative with your man's over here.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be negative. That nigga L gonna be checking niggas just for what I can tell by what how you starting. You about to say
You
some
about to say some
Oh.
bullshit.
Oh, just wait till I get to the age where they can't really give you jail time. Like, my nigga, there's nothing that you can do for me in there. You know what I mean? Like, you're a wasted person in a cell. 67. You know, like that's really what retirement be looking like. Is like, I could do shit where they don't even lock me up for that. Like, wait, it was this nigga?
That nigga needs
Wait,
a
this
show.
the nigga that did all that? Come on, bro, stop playing.
This ain't the nigga that went to the store and stole all those steaks.
Bro,
Not a trench coat full of snakes.
Nah, you're old. You just put them in the basket and walk out.
boy, a trench coat, a steaks, but underneath just got a wife beater on. No bottoms, just steak, wife.
Oh, no bottoms is crazy.
Over long wife beater.
Hey L, you gonna have some 14s on?
The steaks on a hook. just hella hooks inside the trench coat.
L, you gonna have no bottoms and some 14s on?
Oh, you know, I'm getting my 14s back. I was telling her about the gym teacher that took my 14s. When that nigga got fired, bro, you just start ransacking people's lockers. Like, I still wear my black and red 14s to this day.
B on the age and shit. I thought you had a great topic about food choices, and we can get out of here.
Oh, I was thinking about that the other day about like what's some foods that I was thinking for myself. So I ate that. Well, it started with thinking about things that bring you like childlike joy. Everything's got to be way deeper than it needs to fucking be with me. But things that bring you childlike joy. Then that went to nostalgia. And it made me think of like old school like snacks, like hood snacks that you used to fuck with. That like as an adult, you know, like that shit ain't healthy. But like I might fuck around if it's in my vicinity. So yeah, I would love to like what are y'all because there's other I'm also interested like what is something that you're like there's no way I would fucking eat. So I think of like Kraft cheese with the little plastic around it. Like that was what we had growing up. But now as an adult, like there's no fucking way I would ever eat that shit for any reason. But on the flip side, give me a squeeze it. What? Happiest day of my fucking life.
Nah, I'm trying to think. I guess it's now that niggas know they ain't really supposed to be fucking with bread and shit like that. Like, and nigga, peanut butter and jelly gonna be a fight for your boy over here. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. This shit.
Wait, I'm not giving that up.
We gonna,
I have at least 4 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a week.
bro, they just be doing numbers, bro. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, are you kidding me? Then it was like, oh, you can't really fuck with chips like that. Nigga, chips? You gonna take chips away?
Yeah, chips is for sure a thing like that. Hey, if y'all ever had a damn pickle flavored joints from Trader Joe's,
Come on, bro.
they gonna have to stop it, bro.
And And then don't let the little kids variety pack be sitting around. These babies, they don't need hot Cheetos. Let me clear them out for you.
Hey, by the way, like the little value pack of Funyuns is the best version of Funyuns. Like they put just the right enough for the little,
all the different varieties in there.
Nah, but actually in the pack itself, like the larger bag of Funyuns will never taste like the value
They
pack.
actually ratio. The
ratio is right. You know what I'm saying? That's just like a little hood fact for you.
But y'all ain't seen the McDonald's breakdown. McDonald's been whooping us forever. You want to supersize that nigga? The supersize is the same as the amount of fries as the small fry. They've been whooping us. Y'all ain't seen that video? Bro, he got the 3 empty boxes and poured it into all the sizes up, and it's the same size. I said, bro, this crazy.
It's the way you hold the box.
It's the way you hold it.
Hey, I swear. Hey,
Monty, what is your YouTube algorithm?
All right,
that
no.
Hey, first off, Monty got the most it covers the most range.
Exactly.
But wait, B, I left my shit logged in at my mom's house, so now it's pure cocoa melon, and then a little Uzi video, and then a cooking show. And it's amazing. I don't know. Hey, YouTube algorithm. I might have the hardest one. It's a little bit of everything on there. Conspiracy theories or some more shit.
Yeah, my nigga recommended is about 40 videos. It's like, bro, did they give you more bandwidth, bro? Like, how does you get that much of a function on there?
Oh man. To our YouTube viewers, our Spotify, Apple Podcast listenership, thank y'all for rocking with us. It was dope having Bird in the building today. Lige, never mind. I'm gonna do it off camera. Baby fever for men is real, bro. That's a real thing. I'm like, I got the itch bad. So, Papa, no, don't do it. Never mind. Take it back. It's another episode of Meet the Brave Podcast. We'll see y'all next week.
Love.
Yes.
Bye.